valve bouncers and gear grinders meeting.
Hello.
Yeah. Several Ford clubs from the Hunter and further afield in Sydney met at Dennis Tobin's Man Cave.
Free cold drinks, free barbecue. Our club does support Soul Hub, which feeds the homeless, so if you want to throw a few bucks in the donation bucket, that will be passed on to Soul Hub. We've been helping them for doing about the place and do some guided tours, so thanks again, mate, for putting this on.
So this was a particularly hard rock, as we've found out when we've tried to do anything with it, and so that's what it was. And at the same time, there was another one on the other side of the hill doing the same thing.
The fifth sports sedan was a 124 coupe with a P76 Lowland V8 in it with 4 side drive wheels. It actually still holds the record at Kingley Park for the quickest sedan up the long hill climb. Then I moved off into tarmac rowing after circuit racing, and I've done a number of Tiger Tasmanias, East Coast Tigers and Classic Adelaides, and that was, well, in a P76 with the Fiat motor, and also the Capri, the Corona V8.
I was always enthralled with motor racing. I used to go away with Jimmy Bayliss to all these race meetings with him, this pit crew, and I just reckon they were the duck's guts, these blokes that were out there driving, and nobody could do it as good as they could. And I was very impressionable, if you like, and then I started taking photos and gave New Zealand 100. Little did you know he's putting a 1500 in instead of a 1725, and that's the engine we used. So I went motor racing. No budget, no tyres, just shitty old radials and everything. I did have a white set of wide wheels on it. So that started it all. Never really competitive, but a lot of fun. It was a fun car to drive. And I've got to say, in all the years I've been involved in motor racing, we have lent our race cars to 34 different people. And that's pretty amazing. Not too many people can say that. The major thing about it is none of them ever decked it. There was one mark left on it at Emeroo by Batesy, but that was only a minor one. So I'm really pleased that there were so many people that had never driven a race car before, or a rally car or a dirt sprint or whatever. So yeah, and then I went to, I started to knock the odd corner off the Alpine. I got a bit aggressive. You can't fly bits for them in those days, like pedals and anything. So I decided to race the MG. And that was an interesting story. The MG had a pretty good engine in it, nothing flash, but you know, it was loaded board and all the rest of it. And what I did, I had the wide wire wheels off the Alpine, which were 13 inch. They were 6 inch or 5.5 foot, 6 inches wide. So I used to take them down to race meetings, and I'd take the 14s off, put the 13s on. Emeroo, Oran Park, Lakeside, Eastern Creek, that was absolutely perfect for every circuit. And I had guys come up, because it was a gun car, like for an MGB, it was one of the front running MGBs. And blokes would come up and say, what have you done with that? And I used to tell them, standard gearbox, no close ratio, didn't even have a limited slip diff in it at that time. But they never ever looked at the wheels. They never ever worked out it was one of these little wheels that made all the difference. And then later on, I got involved with myself and my mate bought a street sedan Mazda RX-4. And I actually said to Phil that in the early days, I never had any confidence. I didn't believe in their ability, but it was just good fun. I laughed the whole time. You know, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, I bought the Mazda, and that was a lot of cars. They were mainly all rotaries, basically bog standard.
Red car now.
Yeah. 2 fields, Division 1, Division 2, and I got into Division 1 straight off. On the first race meeting, I was on the front row of the grid alongside Mark. And then I started thinking, shit, I can drive these things, you know, and I really enjoyed that. But the thing that I've got to thank, or the bloke that I've got to thank the most is Batesy, because when we rebuilt that Lotus 15, which was a 1958 very classic, very rare Lotus sports car, we rebuilt it out of a write-off. I drove it in Adelaide Grand Prix, I drove it in Phillip, I drove it everywhere. I absolutely love the thing, and that's my favourite type of car, like the Lister. I love that style of car, and it was really thanks to Batesy I got to do that. Yeah, so I've driven a lot of other cars, but the Lotus was the one that I was most comfortable in. I actually had somebody say to me one day that they couldn't believe how hard I drove it. But I never felt at any stage that I risked the car. Now, bearing in mind that car sold, maybe 10 years ago now, close to 10 years, it sold to England for $510,000, which is a bloody lot of money for a car in those days. And he spent that much on it again. And the loveliest guy has bought it. He gave me a drive of it at Goodwood, which was really nice. But anyway, so basically now we run leases. My daughter runs old Henry out there. And if you want to laugh, you ought to sit your backside in that and drive it. It makes you work for a living, but it puts a smile on your face. And then I bought the little Osmo 35, which is a fabulous fun car. It's only good for short circuits. Winton's the circuit where it's at its best because it pulls 7,000 RPM at the end of every straight. It's right on at 7,000 RPM. And it's just a fun thing to drive. I'm getting old, I'm having trouble climbing into cars. I'd like to run the Lister again. I can get into it, but bloody hell, I have trouble getting out of it. The MG, I have trouble getting out of that. It's the A30 I can get out of. So, yeah. So on the whole, it's all been good fun.
Unfortunately, you didn't get any footage of Mel McKendry talking. There's some photos of his escorts around Australia at the various hill climbs.